So through lockdown, I've got into eating/drinking, whichever way it is, Huel. It's just a simple way of having a meal in a milkshake and chucking it down yourself, and you don't have to think about what you're going to choose to eat or plan. And it's supposed to be full of all the right things. That's taken away some choice for me, which is great. I then thought, well, I'm working out a lot more in lockdown, so I quite like, and I'm hungry during the day, so a protein bar. I'm not a protein nut. I'm not going to make myself huge, but I just thought a protein bar a day, that might be a good idea. So I started to look for a protein bar, and there's like a billion different ones, and they're cookies, and they're flapjacks, and they're this one and that one, and the choice just kind of starts to blow my mind. And so Huel, the idea of Huel was to cut down my choice and relax me, and suddenly now I'm looking at protein, and it's probably been 10 days and I haven't ordered yet because I don't know. We've recently, shock horror, switched off Netflix. We no longer have a Netflix account. We still got Prime, and we've been given access to Disney Plus as a lovely gift. So we still have those. But I mean, Netflix was the one I used to turn on. I used to flick and flick and flick and flick and go, I don't know what to watch. And you can waste like as long as it takes to watch an episode trying to find something to watch. And you know, you get to the point where you're binging on something and you're just a bit sick of it and you need something else. And then you end up having 4 or 5 things on the go at once. I mean, maybe you've got this down, but I haven't. And I've canned Netflix because of it. And I end up watching rubbish that isn't any good. And I want to choose to watch the things I watch because I've chosen them, not because there's nothing else to do. We live in choice overload. Even if you're just looking on Amazon, there's like 16 versions of every product, and that's before you've checked out elsewhere. You look for your insurance deal and you go on your website that says, we'll do all the choice for you. We'll give you a list and you choose. But then you've got to go on 2 or 3 of those because they have like different relationships with different companies. And then there's the ones that don't do that and stand apart. Well, I probably should look at those as well. And so however we try and undermine choice, it seems choice follows. It's overloaded. And I can remember when my life was simple. I spent 8-9 months of my life in Swaziland in Southern Africa. And when you went to the supermarket, there was pretty much one choice of everything. There was one kind of everything. And I came home, and one of the first things, I was home, I was just hanging around before I went off to do my degree, and my mum hadn't seen my parents for ages. My mum was like, oh, I'm going to Tesco, I'm doing the shop, do you want to come with me? And I was like, yeah, great, we can just chat and do normal things. It'll be a great way back in. I got halfway down the second aisle and I couldn't stack it. Too much choice, too much stuff. It didn't seem fair. And I just had to go and hang out outside. I didn't like it. I couldn't be in there with all that overload of unnecessary stuff. I mean, a week or 2 later, I was totally over it and I was back into my Western 21st century life. But choice isn't always a good thing. It's in the interests of our society, of our kind of capitalist world, to make you choose between things and put things against each other so that, we spend more money, we try the new thing, we get the better. But we end up with so much meaningless nonsense. Like, we can't choose which thing to watch on Netflix. We can't choose what to have for lunch. We can't choose what to have for breakfast. We can't choose which car to buy, which is a big choice. But we also can't choose, I want to buy a football. Well, there's 16 to choose from. It's ridiculous, and it's not healthy for us. Simplicity is good for us. A simple life is great. And we've made simplicity complex because you've got to do it in the style of, Nordic, or you've got to follow whatever her face was on Netflix and do it her way of simplicity. Or, we can't just be simple. We've got to choose which way to be simple. And it's like, seriously, I think we all know deep down what we want to do. We're just scared of making the wrong choice. Just make a choice, people. Deal with the consequence. I don't always live up to that advice. I'm telling you, it's taken me ages to choose a protein bar. We are trying this year as a family as much as we can to not buy new things, to get things secondhand, to reuse, to use things up. We've made it so far this year without buying any shampoo because we realised there were just bits of bottles and little tiny bottles and stuff left over everywhere. We still haven't finished all the stuff we got. We're probably going to make it 6 months. There's loads of things like that. What do we make last? Why do we waste so much stuff? Yeah, it's good for the world and it's good for the environment, and I am passionate about that. But for you personally, this is about me talking to you and what's best for you. Simplicity makes more space in your brain for creativity, for fun, for joy, for laughter, for whatever else. How do we dial down the choice overload? Switch off Amazon, switch off Netflix, plug out. Simplify. One choice. Buy quality, not quantity. Buy once, not twice. Just make a choice, live with it, and not worry about it. How do you get to simplicity? What do you need in order to be more simple? Are you content enough to be simple? How can you be simple? It's my thought, it's my idea. What has this said to you? What are you going to do about it?